for about 7 years. But 7 years later, David was finally able to establish his firm grip over the land of Israel, the Saul's kingdom. And then, guess what he did? He started to fight the Philistines. And he was apparently the first Jewish king that was able to crush the power of the Philistines. And we do not hear about the Philistines anymore after David. I mean, he did not kill every single Philistine, but he was able to crush their military might, their military power. And then the Philistines simply disappeared from the face of the history. They either became Jewish, right? They converted and were incorporated into the United Kingdom, or they left. Okay? But the name remained. The name remained. Now, you might be interested in knowing the meaning of the name. And the meaning, the word Philistine is a Hebrew word. Okay? It's a Hebrew word that means intruder, invader. To intrude, to invade. Okay? Because from our perspective, they are intruders, invaders. From their perspective, they are what? The nicest people in the world. Yeah. The most gracious people in the world. The most beautiful people in the world. The most peaceful people. I don't know whatever you call them. Okay? Just like the white people from Europe called the Native Americans Indians. Okay? This is not how they call themselves. No. Right? Because they did not know that they're Indians. Right. They call themselves something else, right? They call themselves what? Cherokee, whatever tribes, whatever tribe they were. Whatever they were, they call themselves. It's from our perspective, they're Indians because we were looking to go to India. So, well, you know the history. But what is interesting with the word Philistine, that the Romans used this word after they defeated the Jewish rebellion in order to cut the connection between the Jews and their land, and they call this land by the name of the enemies of the Jews. Palestina. So the name Palestina or Palestine is a corruption of the word Philistine, okay? But it has no connection with the ancient Philistines. No connection at all. It's just the name that the Romans preserved. But the people that call themselves Palestinians today, the Arabs. The Arabs. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just there's no connection with the ancient Philistines. And this is interesting, isn't it? They call themselves Palestinian Arabs today, and that means that they call themselves the intruders, the invaders. Yeah. Because that's what the word is. Okay. So that's this is just a little background information for you. And so David ruled here, but then remember what happened to David, to the kingdom of David split, and this city became part of the northern kingdom. In the northern kingdom. Remember what happened with the northern kingdom later on? Disappeared. Who destroyed the northern kingdom and when?
Assyrians.
When?
722.
722. A+. Thank you. I don't know what these people are going to do, because this question will be on the test. And if they fail the test, they will have to stay with me for another week of study. On your own expense, though, folks.
Oh, no.
Okay, 722, the Assyrians ruled here. Okay, and make no mistake, they wanted to rule Route 66. Okay? And they thought that they will rule forever. Okay, but you know what? They did not, because they were defeated by the Babylonians. Now, the Babylonians not only destroyed Assyria, but they also destroyed the southern kingdom of Judah. Remember, in the year 586. 586? Okay. Nobody's taking. Okay. Oh, okay. So you'll fail on the test, folks. 586 is an important date. This is when the southern kingdom fell. The southern kingdom fell, and the Babylonians took over, and they took over the whole thing. Okay. Can you imagine that the Babylonians were thinking that they will last forever?
Yes.
Now, you might find it interesting that during the Desert Storm operation, right, during the war, I find out that Saddam Hussein minted a coin. He minted a coin with his profile on one side of the coin and the profile of Nebuchadnezzar on the other side.
Yep.
Okay, and again, they ruled here. So little wonder that they were throwing rockets from Babylon, from Iraq to Tel Aviv. And I remember how we had to run into the bomb shelter because we didn't know what was in the rockets there, in the Scud, so-called Scud missiles. It could be full of chemical weapons. We didn't know that, right? So, and we just had our first child born, and it was really difficult. We didn't know what to do with the kid because nobody knew what to do. Fortunately, nothing happened. But anyway, so the Babylonians thought that they will last forever, but they didn't, because they were defeated this time by the Persians, and then the Persians took over the whole territory. They ruled here, and they allowed the remnant of the Judeans that were in Babylon. Remember, they were taken captivity to Babylon. They allowed them to come back if they want to. If they want to come back to the land of Israel, but to Judah, not to Israel, to Judah. And what's the capital of Judah? You know, to Jerusalem, right? And they built Jerusalem, and that's the time of Ezra and Nehemiah. Okay. Then the Persians thought that they will last forever. But guess what?
They met Alexander.
They met Alexander. First they met Philip II.
Who is his father?
As a matter of fact, was a very talented guy. He was talented in one thing, that he did not defeat the Persians maybe, but he was able to unite the Greeks. And he was assassinated, and nobody believed that his young son, who was barely 18, was able to do something about it. But he proved to be one of the best conquerors in the world history. Okay, and he defeated the Persians, and he occupied this entire Middle East. Okay, so the entire Middle East was occupied by Alexander the Great, and that's how we started to speak Greek language in the year 332 BC.
I don't know that one.
Write it down.
Okay.
332, because nobody's taking notes. 332 BC is the Greek invasion and occupation of the Middle East. Okay, the Greeks took it. Okay. And that's how we started to speak Greek here in this area. We know that Alexander died young, relatively young, in his early 30s, whatever, and his huge, humongous empire, because it lasted from Greece to China. Imagine Afghanistan, India, parts of it, Persia, this Middle East, all of it was taken by Alexander the Great. And the only reason he stopped taking more and more land is because his soldiers rebelled against him. They said, "We want to go home. We don't want any more land." Sometimes, where's Ben? Sometimes the tour guides will say that. We just can't take it any longer. We want to go home. We don't want that. Anyway, he died young. His empire disintegrated. But we were ruled by this Greek kings, or Greek-speaking kings here, okay, in this area. Now, when Alexander died, he settled his veterans in various parts of the Middle East to control the Middle East, especially the roads, right? And we are on Road 66, right? So he settled his veterans here, and this group of veterans that he settled around the year 331 BC, okay, were from an interesting place. They were from the place called Crimea. And now you're familiar with that, because if I would ask 10 years ago, where's Crimea, nobody would have any clue. You know, the Americans will think it's somewhere between North and South Dakota, but it's not. It's mind you, I don't exactly know where. You're confusing me, because your North Carolina is in the south, and South Dakota is in the north. It's confusing. But the people from Crimea were called Scythians. So you don't have that will not be. Scythians. That's the name of the nation that populated Crimea in those days, right? And apparently they were excellent cavalry. Cavalry. So Alexander the Great hired them as mercenaries. And when he disbanded his army, when he died, basically, they settled here at this one particular place in the Middle East. Right? And the city was called after them, Decapolis. Decapolis. So what you see was first a military camp of Alexander the Great that became a city because it's on Route 66 and lasted for 1,000 years until it, through the Greek and then Roman period, until it was destroyed by the earthquake in 749. Okay, and because it was destroyed by the earthquake, people didn't settle there. They were afraid. Another earthquake. And so that's why they did not destroy completely the whole area. They looted some, but not all, not everything. So that's why you can see this the city in its really, really good shape of preservation. And though we don't have any characters from the New Testament connected to this particular site. In other words, none of the disciples came from here, or none of the disciples of the disciples came from here, or none of the friends of the disciples came from here. No. Okay. But we know that people from here followed Jesus. And again, we don't know the names. For example, we know Mary Magdalene, because she was from Magdala. Okay, so we know where she was from, but we don't have the names of people here. But here's one thing that you can place here in this city. You can place the story of the prodigal son. And you remember this story very well, because it's a popular parable. Remember that he went into the distant country where he squandered his wealth in the wild living. And then when he spent all his money, right, what did he do? Remember what he
Spend the pigs.
He hired himself to attend pigs, right? And if the pigs had evolved, you can make it a conclusion. What kind of community it was?
Gentile.
Gentile community. Though it's not mentioned by name, it can be any of the Decapolis cities, but this is very close to Jesus' ministry, so it possibly can be the place where the story of the prodigal son took place, or would have taken place. Okay. Now, where can he squander his wild living? Let me tell you. Now, at this hippodrome, what would you do in this arena?
Racing.
Right, you gamble, right? You gamble because you can bet on sports, right? You can bet on sports, and this is where you can spend your money. You can also spend your money here in the theater, right? And then you go further down to the red light district where you can spend the rest what you did not spend. Okay, and it's down there. That's the red light district. When you go down there, can you please be careful? Be careful. Okay. How do we know it's a red light district? Because they found the picture of Greek goddess Tyche, that was the goddess of gambling. Gambling. She's called Fortuna by Romans. So that's there. So you can see this. You would not be able to see, but you will be able to see this. That's the theater here. The shopping area. That's special for Marsha. Where's Marsha? Just in case if you lose your suitcase one more time, here's your shopping area, just in case. Okay, this is the red light district, and then the temple to Dionysius, and then the Old Testament section. Friends, 11 o'clock, the bus will depart. Okay? I'll take it. Probably not.
This is how they got all the rocks here.
Wander and see as much as my body and legs.
That's how they got these huge rocks you see.
I know we're going to be doing transport save it for that, yeah. So if you turn your phone here, whisper off the size. No.
Gym. Yeah, this is the gym.
Okay, Ben, would you like to see that all again?
Yeah, this is an ancient bathhouse. And this is the gymnasium side, and then we're going to go into the steam room over here to the right. Ancient bathhouse, gymnasium. That's a Greek word. This is the side where they would come and wrestle and do their exercises. And then I'm going to take you into an ancient steam room. The technology they thought of to make this thing work is just unbelievable.
So that was a pool?
That was this is all underground. That was a pool. Yeah, it was a cold water pool.
Oh, cold water.
Yeah, they would have like.
Yeah, the cold water. And then we're going to go into the steam room over here.
Where did they have
Think-
something
think-
running in and running out?
I'll show you.
Think about it as various values of cold,
Yeah.
being they didn't have refrigeration.
So do they really exercise here?
Yeah, this is where they would exercise. Men would wrestle. You remember from that video? They would wrestle one another, sweat. They come in here and then go in the cold bath.
Massages.
I could say I exercised in ancient
Whoa.
Oh my.
There's an upset pigeon out here somewhere.
This would be the steam room?
Yeah, yeah.
What are all these things?
Yeah, I'll go over that. Is anybody following us or is it just us?
They're doing
Still people
push-ups.
coming, they were doing a little push-up competition down there.
Yeah.
Who's gonna speak on this?
Speaking.
They're coming.
And do a push-up contest.
Yeah, no problem.
A push-up?
I'll just go over it quickly, then you guys can explore whatever you want. Just quickly, this is the steam room. What they did was, this was below the floor level, and then they would lay something over the top of it, like bricks on top of it. And someone was outside building a fire. The fire went down, the hot air went down into this column, and then they had the bricks, like that platform you can kind of see there, that kind of brick material. And then an attendant would pour water on top of this hot floor, and it would steam. It's incredible. You can see it over here pretty well. So a sauna. Sauna, yeah. This kind of tells you everything that happened in this bathhouse area.
Overrated.
This is what it looked like from the top in its day.
Oh, yeah. You have to go down under there, all over there. You try to look.
This is what it looked like from the top, and this is will explain everything that happened in this complex. An impressive building. They had these in Rome as well. So it had everything that you had in Rome. You had right here, one stop. You can get your hair done. You can get your skin scraped. See how they would scrape their skin with the boiling water? That's how you take a shower. So instead of soap, they used scrapers. You'll see some of those. This is just more built up. We'll head over to the amphitheater next, over there. You can walk around this way. We'll just kind of loop around, head over to the amphitheater.
This seems like
That's right.
yeah, right. Everything is like square.
We're headed to that amphitheater right over there.
Curves are hard to do.
Oh yeah. This is just
The red light district, so you had the prostitutes would hang out in these rooms and stand outside the door and close the curtain. So that's just right here, that's the red
And
light.
then there's a verse in Proverbs that says, do not even go by her door.
Thank you for the scripture reference.
Smart boys read Proverbs and understood it.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so there's a hat right there.
Yeah, pink.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you.
Well, it looks like it would be awesome to go up there, but I just don't think I can do it. Just now starting to feel better, so I don't want to jinx it.
It looks like Crusader times.
Well, yeah. What is it?
Maybe there was an idol there.
So is it still red light?
Or just in the, probably where they had the fire. Because we're in the back of
There's your
bathhouse.
toilet, dear. Sit upon your throne. I'll get a picture.
Not much modesty around here.
You gonna sit on it and I'll get a picture?
No, you sit on it. I'll take a picture.
This is the toilet?
Oh, over there.
And here we're approaching the amphitheater.
He had the whisper so that we could hear what he's saying, because he didn't wait for all of us to get there.
Yep. Come on, hon, we've got an hour.
I'm not sure, but he's up there trying to find probably shade. You can see why he said this is the best site.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
it's-
definitely most complete looking. Look, this was the beginning of an arch. Just like these.
Yeah.
Wow. That's so awesome.
We have 10. Feather.
The actors would stand right over here. They would stand in these cubbies. They'd put on their mask. Remember what Mickey called them? The hypocrites. Be or not to be, that is God.
The house of the Lord forever.
That's right. I'll whisper. How's this?
Yes.
Yeah. Really? What am I saying? Yeah. I can hear my voice like I'm in a. You guys want to stand right here. This is the best spot. This went up 3 more levels, and you can hear from the nosebleed section all the way here.
They probably were talking a little louder.
Right.
Yeah, you have practice.
And they would have had Christians killed here, persecuted, you know, from the gladiator times. That's why they built this up, so the beast would be able to be in here. It's just insane.
So this is when the Assyrians were here, or the Romans?
This is the Roman. This is a Decapolis city. Yeah, the Greeks started it when the Romans
But the
took over
Romans
Greece.
made it, okay.
The Greeks, they had the 10 cities. Yeah.
There's
All right, let's go to the men's public reading area. Does anybody have a brochure, any reading material I could use? Anybody have anything? All right.
I went up about halfway.
No,
It doesn't
this
hurt
floor
going
is not
up. It's
original.
coming down.
But all of these stones
I wouldn't go on. Halfway up. I wanted to do it. It is. I mean,
Covered his mouth.
I know. Hearing nothing.
Oh, here they come.
Herald trumpets.
Trumpets. Oh boy. That's it.
Hey, good job. Oh, look at the corner. Ah, just.
That is the question.
Excuse me.
Linda, I'm getting.
Nobody did the best line.
What?
Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I have not come not to praise Caesar, but to bury him. I think